Crest Foods is a very different place today than when Nick Harroz founded the business in the 1940s. The variety of products, the bright lights, and even the square footage is staggering. But one thing that never changed at Crest Foods was Nick's philosophy on how to do business.
We figured the best way to gain business is give them the lowest price, give them the best service, and the best quality merchandise. And that's the way I ended up building the business that I had.
The son of Lebanese immigrants, Nick Harroz learned about hard work in the grocery business as a young boy working in his father's store. Throughout his school days, he stocked shelves, tended produce, and ran deliveries. At the start of World War II and just out of high school, Nick joined the Navy Air Corps Reserves. He trained as a pilot and earned his commission as an ensign. During his duty, he trained more than 1,000 pilots and was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant JG and would later be ordered to Japan. After the war ended, Nick found himself trying to figure out what to do with the rest of his life.
When I got out, I said, well, I've got to find something to do. And they said, what can you do? I said, well, I can fly airplanes. Oh, we got more pilots than we know what to do with now the war's over. What else can you do? Says, well, I used to work in my dad's grocery store. And they said, well, that's what you ought to do is put you in the grocery store. I said, well, I told my dad as many hours as he worked me in his store, I'd never want to be a grocerman.
But fate, family, and the Navy intervened. With prodding and with money he saved and borrowed, Nick opened his first grocery store in a small converted house. During those early days, he met and married the love of his life, Mary Louise Addis, known to all as Cherry. With Cherry as a partner, Nick made steady progress, opening a second store and later a third. During their expansion, they took on the name Crest Foods. Ever mindful of costs, Nick shortened the name of the Ridgecrest shopping center where the store was located for the name of his store in order to save money on signage and in the best interest of his customers.
I said it's easier for the customer. Instead of writing Nick's IGA Food Liner or Nick's Thriftwise Food Liner, all they have to do is write Crest. So it speeded up people writing the checks for their groceries.
Following his father's lead, Nick brought his sons, Gary and Bruce, into the business at an early age. Together, they developed Crest Foods' reputation for high-quality foods and service with rock-bottom prices. Years of growth followed for Crest Foods, but not without battles and heartache. The Harroz's son, Gary, was killed in a tragic accident while working at the business. Later, they would find themselves in the battle of their lives with a mammoth chain of stores trying to run them and other independent grocers out of business. They hung in there and won. Nick's Crest Foods has now grown to bigger and bigger stores under the guidance of his son. They are all around the metro area, in Midwest City, Edmond, Moore, Windsor Hills, and most recently in Warwick. Nick served his customers and the community for 50 years, donating the land for a church, serving as a director of First National Bank of Midwest City, a member of the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce, and even as an actor for the Lions Club. Retirement is anything but sedate for Nick Harroz. He routinely visits the Crest Food stores to check their progress, look for trouble spots, and even lends stalkers a helping hand. Son Bruce is now in charge at Crest Foods, but he pays tribute to his father's years of hard work every day in a Midwest City store. Decades of dedication to quality and to customers that have earned Nick Harroz a rightful place in the Oklahoma Commerce and Industry Hall of Honor.